And then this is devastating. You can't get out. But let's be honest here.
Possibly break out.
It's meant to be a horrible, painful move. But if you ever go to any osteopath, this is actually meant to relieve back pain and neck pain.
Oh, it is.
So you do this, and then after you've done the mask lock, everyone goes, I feel great.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
Maybe
fantastic.
that's why they couldn't get out. They didn't want to. They're just like, no,
They passed out from just like relaxation.
Too relaxed. It's a hell of a strategy, Chris.
Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I am Sam. I am joined by an infant. It's baby Sam. Hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's nice to be let out of the nursery.
Well, we've done a lot of people in your era in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
We've done we've had a bit of Baron Corbin, Justin Gabriel, a bit of Layla. So I thought I would bring back someone who was mainly my generation and filtered a little bit into yours.
And I'll tell you how you filtered into my era very precisely. My two first action figures that I ever got, wrestling figures, were Scott Steiner and Chris Masters. Those are my two first wrestling figures.
Two people who may needed to pee in a cup more than once and refused to do it.
Yes, but they are my first two, so I always have a soft spot for Chris Masters.
This is our power ranking series where we take a wrestler, male, female, or a tag and give them a score of 10 and 10 different wrestling categories. We then combine our scores together to give an overall score of 200 and see where they land on our leaderboard. And we are looking today at the masterpiece, Chris Masters, the man who got a massive push, released, brought back, did nothing with. That guy. So before we get to see how we're going to rank Chris Masters, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe and put below where you would rank Chris Masters in these 10 different wrestling categories. We would like to know. We start with wrestling ability. Sam.
I've gone 5.
I've got 4.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to not like him. I'm going to like him because I had his wrestling figure.
Yeah.
That's what this episode's going to be.
Watching the matches, you realise he couldn't really work. He was in the same ilk as Lashley, but Lashley had a background at least, where Vince went, oh my God, this guy's massive. He's massive and muscly. Get him on the show now. And you're like, Vince, you can have them on the show, but could you give them a little bit of seasoning? He was so green for so long. If he got released and never brought back, Sam, that scores a 2 or a 3 for me.
Yeah.
His 4 comes from that when he returned,
He's quite
and he was slimmed down a little bit. He improved in the ring, but not in a I want to watch a Chris Masters match because he was in the undercard losing every match type thing. He went from being a gimmick that was main eventing to a gimmick that could barely make SmackDown.
When he'd improved.
Yeah, when he'd improved.
Yeah.
I don't think he could work very well. I thought, and then they put him next to Carlito, and that's going to become a real problem later on when we talk about this a bit more. But yeah, the wrestling ability for me, I don't think he could work.
I think he did do some power stuff.
He hurt people.
Oh, did he?
A lot, yeah.
Did he?
He broke Stephen Richards' nose on his debut match.
I've got to downgrade him for that. I love Stevie Richards, so he's a 4. He's a 4 now. Just for that, you've got a deduction.
Yeah.
Chris Masters.
We move into their storytelling. So this is the storylines as well as the stories they told in the ring. I'm sticking with 4 again.
I'm going 5 unless you can think of someone else he's hurt.
Technically, he hurt Cena, but it's only Cena. It was superhero Cena, exactly. So he got over it really quickly. Yeah. I can't tell you the stories he's told in the ring outside that I throw you around because I'm more powerful than you. That's a weak story.
Did he taunt? He was muscly, and what I will say, Sam,
I'm going to set up the master lock. That's about it.
Hey, that's some real storytelling. That's
he
some
was
Lord of the Rings
in a main
stuff.
event-ish for about a year and then was given up because he couldn't tell. And then they kept putting him in the ring with people like Angle and Shawn Michaels and Carlito, and you're just like the reason they booed Cena so much around this era is because he was getting shown up. You kept putting him in the ring with internet darlings and better workers, and he looked bad. Angle, Michaels, Jericho, Christian, Van Damme, and then you're like, oh. And Masters was the exact same. Masters was lower than Cena at the time, and that's how bad storytelling was in ring work. And he was really dull and didn't tell any stories. It was all, I'm a big power move, I'm going to throw you around. That was about it.
I'll give him a 4.
See this way, do you want to know why he's at 4? Because would you ever want to watch longer than 12-minute Chris Masters match? No, because they didn't trust him to do it, and he couldn't fill the time. He couldn't do enough heel work to fill the time. We move on to their promo skills, their ability to talk and cut a promo.
I feel you're going to tell me off for giving him a 4.
No, I've got 4.
Okay, I thought you might go lower. I've only really got an impression of him based off of, again, my action figure.
Was he a rubbish promo then?
No, because I was in the promos as an 8-year-old.
So it was a 2 promo then.
Hey. And I also had him on the wrestling games, the SmackDown vs Raw games, and I don't know, I just assumed he was a character, so I assumed that's what he was good at.
They literally, JBL on commentary used to say things like, $1 million body, a nickel brain. Because he was acting stupid, he just couldn't talk. It was always just jock sort of thing.
Not even good jock ways.
But again,
you can lean into that.
What didn't help with this promo? They put him next to Carlito, one of the most charismatic people who got a really high score on our promo skills.
Do you think, we talk about committing to gimmicks, do you think he just didn't commit to this? You know
I don't think he knew what the gimmick was. What is the gimmick? Masterpiece, you look amazing, then what? It's a moniker, not a gimmick. And that's your issue. You've been given a great moniker, brilliant moniker, but what's your gimmick? He didn't have one. Literally didn't have one. We now move on to their look. So this doesn't necessarily have to be attractiveness, but it doesn't have to be body size, but it can come into there. Is that does it fit the persona, the gimmick, and all that jazz? Sam, what have you gone with?
I'm going 7.
I've gone 9.
Oh, fair dues. Well, again, it's the gimmick, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're going to have that gimmick, you need to be that. And let's face it, it's not natural.
So we will put our hands up, and if that's what the body is, that's what we just have to accept. I would have given it a 10 for look. If he didn't come back, still comes off the masterpiece and looked completely slimmed down. Because he wasn't a masterpiece anymore. Even though, I'm going to say this, I thought he looked better.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he looked miles
more
better.
Flexibility.
More flexibility. Me can move. He was a very lumbering. Lats were very over.
Strong.
They literally Triple H, of all people, another person, who, not natural, said it on camera to him. Like, that's why Triple H, this is why I can never fully praise Triple H, because they're going, you said this stuff. Yeah. Might have been a Vince directive.
After what he did, after he kind of clearly came down from the stuff.
Yeah,
and look how bloated he was.
Yeah, it was ridiculous when he was on an offside. Yeah. So I thought he looked great. I liked the cape stuff that went with it. I thought that really worked. The fact that it was trunks, but the fact that they were like velour.
Oh, yeah, trunks. It's like Roman-esque. Yeah.
Great look. Yeah. I think he looked great. I give him a 9 because it's not quite fully there. Not the natural. And when he came back, though I think he looked better, he should have changed gimmicks. They gave him generic rock music when he came back. We'll talk about that next. Entrance. He came back with generic rock music rather than the really cool masterpiece
and
entrance.
This is probably why I liked him in the game, because I saw his entrance in the game and it was really cool. I'm still going to give him a 7.
I'm giving him an 8.
Okay.
I think his entrance is great. So first of all, he comes with this. It's really regal, really Roman, and you actually watch the Michelangelo's David, genius, and then a lot was on him, and he's paused in this kind of beautiful position and comes up and does 3 poses with the music going do do do, and then fireworks each time, golden shower, and it's really good. I think it's an excellent entrance for a gimmick or a moniker of the masterpiece. And the only reason I've not actually given a 9 or 10 is because he came back with generic biddle.
You know what?
OSW review, by the way, so I don't want to take it. Do you know what generic biddle is?
Go on.
Biddle. Just generic biddle. Yeah. OSW review reference. Go watch them. They're great. But that's what it is. It was just generic rock music, and he did nothing.
But because of what you said, I'll put it up to an 8. Because you know what? Anything to do with the Romans, I'm going to rank up. I love.
You love a bit of history.
I do love a bit of history.
But let's be honest. If you went just solely on entrance, forget about the person, because sometimes you have to try and not blind yourself and go, this person's not great. But the entrance is a main event entrance. Oh, it was a main. Could you imagine that at WrestleMania? Like if he'd been
really good.
Yeah, if he got a singles match at WrestleMania and they went, right, imagine what this could have been.
You could have like statues.
Yeah, on a plinth coming down. It could have been really spectacular. He just couldn't wrestle. Heel, their ability to work as a heel, Sam.
I've written down 7 and I'm wrong.
I've gone 6, so you're not far
off wrong.
I think it's a
6. I don't think he's that kind of echelon.
No, he may have started out that way because the gimmick is so heely as a gimmick, because you just immediately go, oh, this guy thinks he's amazing, he looks amazing. So you were probably right for at least
to understand.
Initial run, but then when he started slowly going down the card, they put him with Carlito to go, you need to do some work, to go do some tag team stuff to get away with it, but they kept putting him in main event matches. Yeah. He got shown up, and then the heel work got shown up because you're like, good heel, a boom, the Master Lock Challenge, genius idea, great heel gimmick. Yeah. Just so at the moment, at that beginning area, you're like, this is an 8, this is a 9 heel, and then it just kept going down and down and down, and I have to admit, I still think 6 is still quite generous, but he was a solid upper mid-card heel. He's going to go on mid-card rankings because he was in the mid-card main event. He may not have won any of the titles, and he may have come back in the lower card, but I think it's the main evented a lot in pay-per-views. Elimination Chamber, and he went for the Raw WWE Championship a lot.
Absolutely.
And then you've got came back and was a jobber. Mid-card.
I think that's fair.
A babyface, their work as a babyface, a good guy. This is only when he came back was a babyface, wasn't it? When he's a jobber.
It's a 3, isn't it?
It is a 3. Looks good. So the reason we're going, he's a jobber, he lost every match, because they were able to still use that name value to be able to put him in things like Royal Rumbles and stuff. He was in the Royal Rumble in 2010 and 11, I believe.
I think it was just 11.
Was it just 11?
I think so.
He turns up in 10, doesn't he? He's part of the 10.
I don't think so.
Oh, whatever.
I'll look it up.
But he's in that sort of necklace. He was able to go name value. You can go put in there, and everyone goes, Chris Masters. We know that person. But what else can he do?
He is in the Rumble 2010. He is. He gets eliminated by the Big Show. Yes, he is. That was annoying me. Well done, Sam. You still didn't win the head-to-head, did you?
13-17 is not bad, though.
That's all right.
Not bad, though. Not bad. But we are talking about something else because we don't want to
The
talk
new
about
viewers have no idea what we're about. Yes, we are just changing the subject to something more interesting.
Do you want to watch us try and name the 2010 Royal Rumble entrants in order? Click on this thing or go and watch it from our Sam vs. Sam Go the Distance series. But as a babyface, Chris Masters is a 3. Gimmick and personality. Now, Sam, we're probably going to go on gimmick more than personality, though there is a bit of personality. And I bet me and you have had this high and then slowly dropped this
Never
down.
before have these things worked against each other so much.
Yes, it's incredible, isn't it? Because literally they're going, what a great gimmick. No, that's a moniker. He never did it as a gimmick. It was so weird. And his personality, he didn't.
So I think the gimmick's great and the personality is not.
No.
Hence, I have gone with a 6.
I've also gone 6.
Yeah.
And it was almost, if he hadn't talked, if he was just all about the look.
Sometimes I go, some people, and it's not even just as a bad thing, like, sure, it's bad on the promos, but some people I go, I would love to have seen a gimmick with someone where they had a vow of silence or they just didn't speak ever as a character. Kane had it for a little bit.
Goldberg was the initial.
Yeah, just don't speak. And I think it would work.
Well, that's what got Goldberg. He came on, smashed you, and went to interview, went, walked off. I think this would have worked for Chris Masters. I don't think he needed to talk. No. I actually think if he'd have literally just come out and gone and just like, here's my body, and just showed his muscles, won really quickly with power moves, slammed down, and then left. Or had a Bobby Heenan type person to put him over like they did with Lex. Have you ever seen the Royal Rumble 93, I believe it is?
I've not seen it all.
Lex Luger's debut, who's debuting as the narcissist, is his gimmick, right? And Bobby Heenan, they are tasking Bobby Heenan to talk about this man's body for about 10 minutes ago. Oh, the lats, Lex! The lats! Let me see the legs, Lex! Oh, the legs! Look at those legs! And he just does that for about 10 minutes. You're like, Bobby, you hero.
Bobby could do that.
You hero.
Bobby could do
now, could you imagine someone doing that for him? Chris Masters. I think it would have really worked. Chris Masters is Lex Luger. That's it, isn't it? Looks great.
Very good metaphor.
Can't go anywhere. Yeah. Oh my God. Chris Masters is Lex Luger. We move on to over and a draw. How much money did they bring in or how over they were with the crown? Sam?
Even 5 for me.
I've gone for a low 4. Because I think if you looked at it from overall, he was over initially and it just literally declined. I've never seen someone just decline and never even have a blip back up without being released. And then he did get released and then came back and then they did even less.
Kind of was on the same level as came back from where he was and then just...
it kept going. It was so weird. It's like, oh, we've brought you back. Oh, Chris Masters is back. Job. I don't think he ever got over with the crowd after that initial 6 months or so. That initial mid 2005 to about WrestleMania 21. Yeah. I think that was about it. Really, 22, I think. WrestleMania 22. Yeah, it's WrestleMania 22. So, sorry, I just don't think he's over. He was never over.
No, I don't think it's fair.
And he wasn't a draw. What money was he making? No, not making any. And finally, their finisher. I've changed my score on this so many times, and I don't know what I'm officially going to give it. So, it's the Master Lock. It's a full Nelson lock. Okay? It's that. And I don't know what to give it, because it's been done before. As has the gimmick of breaking out of the full Nelson. The Warlord had it. So even the Master Lock challenge is not original. Literally, not even the breaking of a move, breaking of the exact move. However, was there a protected move for so long as the Master Lock? You put it on, you lost. And it wasn't until Lashley broke it on a kind of throwaway Raw. But this is how over this move was. They had a Master Lock challenge. main event Raw. Shawn Michaels trying to break the Master Lock, main evented Raw. And he was going to break it, and the Master Lock released it, hit him with a chair and put it back in, and went, so he's won then. You have released the move. If you've released the move...
You've been forced to release it.
You've been forced to release it. You know, you've lost. So technically, Lashley was not the first one to break it. Shawn Michaels broke it because he purposely broke it because Shawn Michaels broke it. That's the rule, whatever. So I've had 10, I've had 8, I've had 5 because it's been done before and it's just a full Nelson lock. So Sam, I don't know. I added them all up. I divided it by 3 because I think I gave it 5 scores and I came out as a 7.
Such a mathematical person. I've got 8 because I just think it's good. I just think it's alright. It's protected. And he's known for it. It's a notable finisher. I don't think it always has to be
That was the
original.
funny thing. I saw a comment on a X and they were saying like, you know, it was somebody stupid saying that he invented this move. I was like, he didn't even invent the gimmick of it not getting out of it. It's really bad.
But I just think it's always associated with him. It was over at the time.
Yeah.
I go 8. You can hit it on anyone as well.
Yeah, that also helps.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go with 7 because essentially I would have gone 8 with you had I not seen it already with the Warlord doing the exact same.
Your mean of your scores.
The mean, yes, the average, yes.
Sometimes the end justify the mean.
I hate you. So we're going to look at our overall score. What did you score, Chris Masters?
55.
I also scored him 55.
That literally never happens.
No, it's very rare. There you go. Very, very good. So that gives him an overall score of 110. So first of all, we're going to see where he pops out on our mid card. I think it's fair for him to go on the mid card because he did main event, pay-per-views and stuff like that, went for titles. So we're going to put him on the mid card. He's actually bottom of our mid card rankings. We've actually had quite a few decent mid card sort of wrestlers. He's only 1 point behind Finlay and Jim Duggan, and I would say probably about right.
I get it. Yeah.
Better gimmick, not as good as worker as them, equalish on promo. That's 8th place. I believe, on the mid-card. On the overall, he obviously slots in behind Duggan and Finlay as well because they were 1 point. He's in 14th place currently on our overall leaderboard. But where would you rank Chris Masters? What would you give him out of 10 in those 10 wrestling categories? Please let us know. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Go watch our other power ranking videos to see where everyone else has landed and why they landed there. Go and follow us on Twitter, X, they're the same thing, Blue Sky, TikTok. And we will see you next time for another Masters Sam's on Wrestling Challenge. It's like a Master Lock, but for us.
Sure. You do all the names anyway. I just stand here and look pretty, really. You sit here and look pretty.
You don't even do that, to be
Sam,
honest.
Sometimes you hurt my feelings.
You're not a masterpiece.
This is cyberbullying. It's online,
you
okay?
are primary school work of art with potatoes.
That was my prime. That was my best artist years, all right? I'm a paper mache.
They've seen the thumbnails. They know I can't even reach that level.